Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I hope you're all staying sharp. Well, I'm just adding the finishing touches now to the danglers for Urban Dodger and Roman Legionnaire. I use this machine to do all my press studs and poppers and rivets because it's so easy. It keeps everything vertical, and a quick press like that, and the poppers are in beautiful and accurate there. I hope you can see that. Anyway, I'll just finish these off, and I've got a bit of an update and a couple of knives to show. Well, I do very much appreciate your patience if you're on the waiting list for one of my knives. When I started knife making, it was a much more simplistic, straightforward approach to what it is now. Because as time has moved forward, the evolution of the Jacmel knife has moved forward as well, and I'm doing so much more to them now. I'm reaching much higher standards. As I've learnt different processes, it's taken me a bit longer to complete each knife. For example, I don't know if you can see this apparatus here. The wood that I'm using now, I stabilise the wood, and that's adding another another whole process, adds another bunch of time to the build of a knife. The knives are being finished to a higher standard now as I've learnt the processes to do that. All the leather work I do myself. It's just quite time consuming, and the nature of the job means that you can't rush it, and I don't want to rush it. If I start rushing things, the knives won't mean as much to me. And I know that you're getting the finished product, but they also have a meaning to me. You know, when I produce a knife, it's built by hand, and I put a bit of myself into it because it's really a journey. Each knife is a journey, and I know some people can build sort of 5-10 knives a week, but at the moment I'm struggling to do 2.5-3 knives a week. And if I do any more than that, whether it's because of my personal health condition or whatever, I don't know. I do live with a health problem, but I mean it's not going to get in the way of anything. But it does mean that I get tired, and I can just do 2 or 3 knives a week. And when I get tired, that isn't the best condition to be in when you're making knives. I'm sure you can appreciate that. That's the one I want in there. This machine has interchangeable dies, depending on what you're inserting, whether it's a rivet or a pop stud or something or whatever. Takes the guesswork out of applying these fasteners. I'm just doing the rivet in there now. Got the backing piece in already, so it's just simply a matter of placing the rivet over the stud, placing the stud onto the post, and then a firm press down, and there's one finished dangler. There's another finished dangler. Well guys, here's the 2 finished knives. This one with the white corian, the White Knight, is for Eugene, and this is for Rich, Urban Dodger. So I'll show you this one first, Eugene. Got the logo stamped into the leather now. Dangler, matching fire steel. I had to put a black liner down through it to give it the width, because I didn't have the Corian of the right width for that. So that's that. Dangler option. This is the first blade to be stamped with the logo rather than etched. Polished white Corian, very well sculpted. Satin finish with a semi-polished bevel. My handmade mosaic pins, brass lanyard tube. There's the logo. I did want the logo to be about 5mm higher up, but whilst it was in the fly press I didn't realise it was happening, but there must have been some movement and it just struck a bit lower down. But anyway, this is the very first Jack Law to be stamped with the logo, so that's what it looks like. Nice even point, I don't know if you can see that. Nice even plunge lines, nice straight grinds, nice and flat. I mean, that would be a 90 degree up there. Bevels on the front, black liners, quite nice in the hand. Fits in its sheath. This has been wet formed for this particular knife. Fits in a treat, won't fall out. So that's yours, Eugene. Rich, the Urban Dodger. Again, you've got a dangler. There's the sheath. Holes for lanyard fixing. Also on your sheath, Eugene, the holes were there. All hand stitch, handmade. The knife itself is in oak, which has been stabilised. Again with my handmade mosaic pins. Black liners. Logo stamped on. Very well sculpted. I don't know if you can see the hourglass. There's a formula that I use to get the hourglass, which I think fits nice in the hand. Front of the hourglass is the same thickness as that point there, but I do like to flare the back out slightly. And so when you're doing power cuts, it just seems to give such a positive grip. You can put an awful lot of power into that blade. I might just give the scales a bit more of a polish up on the polisher before I send it out to you. But that's your knife, Rich. And to get that satin finish, I do that bit prior to heat treat, and I actually take that finish to a mirror. And then I heat treat, and after heat treat I go over with oil and 1200 wet and dry. Spend a bit of time cleaning it up and rubbing it to get the satin finish, and that way you get a true flat satin finish with none of the scratch marks from any of the previous grits which I was getting in some of my earlier knives. Again, it's a learning curve. And with that, there's the sheath again, Rich. And again, it's wet formed for this particular knife, so it'll click in very solidly. It won't fall out. It will loosen up a little bit with use. But anyway, I'm sure it'll serve you well, and I hope it gives you a lot of pleasure. It's a bit of heads up for Patrick, Terra Firma. Patrick is going to have a go at knife making. I think I must have inspired a few people to give it a try. Let's turn that up there. My personal journey into knife making hasn't been as smooth at times as perhaps YouTube and my videos on YouTube portray it as, because I've had to learn as I've gone along. I've made a lot of mistakes, costly, time-consuming mistakes. I spent an awful lot of time, hours and hours, sat in front of that, stood in front of that grinder, grinding on those bevels, grinding the profiles, shaping the handles, watching YouTube videos, researching on the internet the best way to do this, the best way to do that, and the combination of all that into the melting pot has taken me to the level of knife making that I'm currently at. And it's been a learning curve, and it's been expensive because I've had to invest an awful lot of my own money into machinery. I'm getting the fruits of it now, but it's been not as easy as I first thought, to get to this level. But I'm here now, and I notice now that things are flowing. It's smoother now. Things are going easier. The product is reaching levels of finesse that I could only have dreamt about, to be honest with you. And I look at knives from other top makers on the internet now, and I look at my own knives, and I find it very difficult to find any discrepancies. Obviously with hand-built knives you are going to get little differences, I suppose, from each knife. I mean, they're built by hand, we're not machines, but I'm achieving a level of bespokeness that I could have only dreamt about, 6 months ago, 4 months ago even. I think the next, I think the philosophy that I've got is simply that to make the next batch of knives better than any that I've ever done. And that's how I've gone along from the very start of my knife making career. I wanted each knife to be the best that I could do, and they were at the time. Each knife was done to the best of my ability, but as time moves on, expertise, knowledge, skills increase, and I'm able to impart those into the knife that I'm working on at that particular time. So inevitably the knives I'm producing now are far superior to the ones I was producing 6 months or a year ago. But as I say, anyone that's got those early knives, at the time you got the best that I could have done at the time. Anyway, with that, Patrick, I wish you very good luck with your adventure, and anyone else that I've managed to inspire to have a go at building a knife, or to get into this profession in any way, shape or form. It's not going to be easy, but I think, with perseverance, perhaps you might make something of it. But as I say, it's not been easy for me. I'm here now. Just a bit of an update for you. As I say, I'm not able to build that many knives a week. Some people can build a lot more than me, but I do everything. Ordering, quality control, leather work, everything that you see on that knife has been done by hand. Mosaic pins, stamping the logos, cutting the blanks out, heat treating, everything. Anyway, Paul Reese 1981, working on your knife now. Keith. Aloha Keith from Hawaii. Your scales are over there, and I'll be finishing that knife off probably next week. Sharon, be building your knife shortly. Heino, started on your sheath already. You're in the next batch of tool steel to arrive. Steve, Zed back. You're on the horizon. Brian Namer, Stephen Paul, you're also on the horizon. Dennis from Australia is coming to collect his knife next week. That's here for you now, Dennis. Down here, actually. There's your knife, Dennis. Needs a bit of work doing to it yet, though. But that'll be ready for you when you come over on one day next week, I think. So that takes me up. I'm working on 103 at the moment. But yeah, you're all in the book, and you're all going to get your knives in the fullness of time. Hopefully sooner rather than later. But I say I can't rush these knives. Simply can't rush them. Thanks for watching, and I wish you all the best. And remember, stay sharp.